I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and today we're here to look at the Tru-Ball Sweet Spot 2. I was going to say Sweet Spot Pro because it's the same style of a release aid. The Sweet Spot Pro has an interchangeable finger attachment, so you can change from 3 to 4 finger, but it's the same type of release, just more expensive. Now the Sweet Spot Pro and the Sweet Spot is a back tension release aid with a safety. So if you're scared of shooting back tension, and I'm going to say I was scared of shooting back tension, so I was absolutely scared of it, this could be an option for you. Now the way it works, so it's got a self-loading head to start with. Now how does this self-loading head work? It's on a little spring, which you see just in there. So it's on a little spring. Now the way the safety works, I should explain probably how a back tension release aid works. So the release aid's loaded like that, and as you twist your hand, you saw how little I had to move it. There's no trigger, so it's loaded. As you apply tension, literally that much tension, the release aid triggers. So as you draw it back with this finger, with that finger, and as you apply a little bit of tension, it triggers it. Now this has a safety. So the way the safety works, you press the thumb in like that, and then you can move this as much as you want, and it's not going to fire. So there's no way to trigger this release aid. So it doesn't matter how far you've drawn it, it doesn't matter what you do, it's not going to fire. So it's completely safe, right? It can't fire while the thumb is activated. Now when you activate the thumb, so let's say you activate it there, then it just requires a smidge to set it off. So let's try this again. Safety in, and let's say we want to activate it, let's say I'm activating it there. It just requires a smidge and it goes off. Now with a normal back tension release aid, I'll just grab a normal back tension release aid like this one. You once again draw it back with this finger, and when it hits that, so when this head opens up that much, so that much there, I'll just show you there. When the head opens up there, it triggers. Now for me, that's how I've set the release aid. Now with a Sweet Spot from Tru-Ball, you don't have that because you've got your safety and it can't go off. So it doesn't matter if it's there or there, it's not going to fire until you press the thumb in. Now for me, I'm a pretty simple kind of guy. Thinking of two things at once does my head in. So for me, the concept of a safety and then I've got to think about shooting the shot is too much work for me. But I understand the concept of it, okay? But it might be perfect for you. So I hope that's clear. So you pull it back, activate the thumb, and then you fire the shot off. Now, questions. Can you adjust the tension of how fast it goes off after you press the safety? I'm pretty sure you can. There's an adjustment just in there. Hopefully I'm getting that little grub screw there. And that's adjusts the activation point. You can see the thread. I'm just going to pull that back. You can see the thread there. But it is, I think there's limits about how far it is. At the moment, it's like a hair trigger. Price point on this, I'm going to guess. Not a lot of people buy them. Maybe around the $250. Now there are other back tension release aids with the safety. The Carter Honey has a safety feature, and I'll do a review on that. This release aid first came out, you'll see the little holes there in the thing, when people used to use ropes on their release aid, but it's still valid today. So this release aid has been on the market literally for years. So I was scared of a back tension release aid, and my solution is shoot a very light poundage bow. So I have a 20-pound bow, Reek compound, in my shop that I set up for people to shoot back tension with, and you just pull it back and shoot. And when I say pull it back and shoot, I'm going to try and explain the simple way so that there can't move. So what I say to customers is you point this at the target. So you put your thumb on the peg, and I want no pressure on this finger here. And when you pull it back, basically this is pointing towards the target. So I pull it back and that's pointing towards the target. It can't fire. When I get up, I now put my fingers on the target and I take the thumb off the trigger and I start to activate. And you can see how much I've got to actually move that finger to activate it. So I'm basically there like that, and I move it that much to activate it. Now, whether you shoot like that, or 45 degrees, that's up to you. Back tension takes a while to get used to. I shot it for probably 3 months before I was relatively comfortable. I've now been shooting it for probably a year and a half, and I shot it at a distance about this far away from the target, point blank distance. And that's the distance I'm going to shoot this, because I'm a bit scared I'm going to punch myself in the mouth. So basically shoot it up close. Shoot at light poundage, so wind your bow down, or borrow a bow which is very lightweight, just to get in the pattern of it, or shoot elastic bands, or shoot something that's not going to hurt you, so you get in the motion of drawing the bow back. There are a few people in Adelaide who shoot this release aid. I've got a young under 12 girl shooting one. The problem I have with this system, as far as a safety feature where you click it and then shoot it, I don't feel it's a true back tension release aid. The concept of back tension is you pull it back, you don't know when it's going to go off, you're aiming, and next minute it goes off. And hopefully you're aiming in the middle when it goes off. That's the theory of back tension. So, but this is so fine, as soon as I press that thumb, it's probably going to go off. So for me, and you don't have to move it much to activate it. So for me, it's almost like and not a true back tension release aid. And the concept of why people shoot back tension is because when they're aiming at the gold, they basically punch the trigger, and eventually their brain's going, when do I shoot? When do I shoot? When do I shoot? When do I shoot? And their whole brain is panicking about when to press that button because they're worried they're going to miss. And you can't worry about when you're going to miss. So sometimes I shoot and it's in the 9 when it goes off. It's a 9. If, let's say I shoot and I'm aiming in the 8 and it goes off, that's just really unfortunate. So with back tension release aids, this is a safety mechanism. Let's see what I think of it. Having not shot it, I'm not a big fan. Having not shot it, so let's shoot it and see. But they do take a while to get used to. You can hunt with them, and there are people who hunt with them. Levi Morgan hunts with them. And he's got a good video out which explains why he hunts with one. He says basically the same deal, that he used to rush the shot when aiming at an animal because he'd panic. This back tension release aid gets rid of that. But you know, it does take time, and if you're wanting to go back to your thumb release aid, I'm going to say bugger up the back tension release aid. And when I say go back, you can go from back tension to thumb to wrist, whatever you want, as long as you're confident. But if you're trying to build your confidence with a back tension release aid, if you go back to a thumb, the problem is you're going to unlearn everything you've learned, because with a thumb you can just pull it straight back like that. You can't do that with a back tension. Back tension, you've got to pull it back and then activate the shot and then roll it over. So, and there's a whole bunch of people who say, oh, you know, you roll it over in your arm. There's other people who say you roll your wrist. Or the other thing is you apply tension here and you take tension off this finger. I don't care how you do it. I've seen so many videos from so many pros, and everyone does something different. And don't worry about, when I said don't worry about stuff in your head, don't worry about stuff in your head, just shoot. The more you shoot, the easier things are going to become. So I've got the safety on first off, so I can move my thumb around as much as I want and it's not going to go off, okay? Does that make you feel more secure? Yeah, probably. I'm still going to shoot this the way I normally shoot a release aid, so I'm going to put my thumb on the peg, I'm going to angle it, like this. I'm going to take my finger pressure off, so just watch where my fingers go and I'll talk you through the shot. So safety's on, I'm going to aim at the target. Right, so I've got my anchor point. Now I'm going to apply the safety. There. And now I'm going to take the shot. Now for me, how that felt, it took way too long to set up the shot, because to push in this safety, I'm there like that. Have I activated it? Let's do it again, see if I feel more comfortable the second time. It was actually, even though I said it was a hair trigger, it actually took me a fair time to activate that shot. So as much as I started this video and I said I didn't really like the trigger, probably not a bad thing, because you're not going to punch yourself in the mouth. And often when you shoot something like this bow, the expression, when I first shot this bow, I didn't really like it that much and my scores went down. I'm still shooting the bow 2 years later, so, and I really like it now. I shoot really well with it. So, and my recurve, if you watch my review on the PSE X-Appeal recurve, I didn't like the grip, and then after a while I started really liking it. So I've been shooting it non-stop now for ages. So I draw it back, activate the safety, that was better, and now I activate the shot. Not too bad. I'll just do one more. That time I activated the safety a lot quicker, because of my first shot I was a bit worried about whether the shot would go off. Sorry, I think that knocks. I think I've Robin Hooded that knock. Okay, let's throw that arrow away. Now if you can make it into an archery shop and they will let you shoot stuff, it's a really good thing. So load it, safety on. It kind of loads up almost automatically. It's really, let's just unload it. So there, and then activate it. So safety on. You've still got to load that little thing with your finger, but it's pretty easy to load. And all back tensions will pretty much load the same way, except for the HT Pro, which has an automatic loading feature, and some of the Scots use a rubber band to reload. So safety's on, so I can spin my hand around. Right, get your anchor point, activate the safety, then get ready for the shot. Okay, so 3 shots. Do I like it? Now I wouldn't shoot it because I'm already shooting a back tension release aid. But going back to when I first started shooting back tension release aids, they scared the living heck out of me. So I was always worried I'm going to punch myself in the mouth, and I honestly never misfired once with a back tension release aid. But I know plenty of customers who have. This is probably easier and it takes that confidence away. So I've got a customer who comes in my shop who's a bit, I'm going to say a bit scared, a bit worried about it punching himself in the mouth. This thing would be perfect. But then you're kind of stuck into this because you haven't really learned to use a back tension. Or if you learn to use a back tension correctly, you can go, oh, well, I'll try that back tension, I'll try that back tension. But maybe this is a good learning aid to try out. So That's the Trueball Sweet Spot, the Sweet Spot Pro. The handles detach here, the brass, a little bit more expensive. They're made out of alloy. They come in 2 colours, I'm pretty sure, black and red. I've definitely got black and red in the shop. They used to come in blue also, but I do have black and red in the shop. They come in 3-finger and 4-finger models. 4-finger, basically you're activating more with your little finger. 3-finger, activate more with this finger. Trueball make good products. They've been making release aids back when we used to shoot ropes. Good little release aid. And if you want to try back tension and you're worried about hitting yourself in the mouth, this is a pretty simple thing. And that, even though it's a hair trigger to set it off, I didn't feel it. I thought as soon as I pressed that it's going to go off, but it didn't. It still required a fair bit of work. So pretty happy with that overall. So back tension release aids, safety on and off. It's not as bad as I thought. I'm happy I learnt to use a back tension properly. But for other people, this is definitely something I'm going to give to people for a first off back tension release aid experience, because they can't punch themselves in their mouth. So thank you, Roy, and enjoy your archery. And if you haven't shot a back tension release aid, by all means go and give one a go, because I think it's well worthwhile. And it might give yourself a couple of months to master it, even 3 months. I had a young junior in the state. I put onto back tension about a month ago, and he sent me a message 2 weeks ago, so 3 weeks into shooting, and said, "Now, Stephen, I've hit my PBs with it." But to start with, he struggled. But he persisted, and yeah, 3 weeks later he's hitting his PBs, and that's quicker than I thought, because I said give yourself 3 months. So yeah, pretty cool. And Trueball, really nice family company in America, good products, and not too badly priced. Thank you. I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Enjoy your archery and check out all those products. Thank you.